Hello, my beautiful love to the world, it's me, Queen Nightmare, and I know this is a weird angle, and I know it's really weird of me to video myself right now, but people have been asking me what I'm going to do for Halloween. Well, I can't tell you one of the activities because, well, because it's a surprise, but I actually want to hear from you guys what you want. I also have a commenter I'm gonna reply on, and I'm gonna show you my Halloween costume in one of my videos. Dang, I look tired. Why do I look tired? I'm not tired. I sleep a lot. Trust me. Anyways. For Halloween, I'm thinking about doing a Q&A if you guys want to. If you want to ask us questions, me and the person, I won't tell you who, I'm gonna have a sleepover with, and we're probably gonna watch Rambo or something. I haven't watched Rambo yet, but I like Sylvester Stallone. He cool. And probably watch John Wick. I'm a weird person, don't even ask. Well, this commenter asked me, I was thinking of going as a cat or witch, but if you have any suggestions, can you tell me them, please? Well, I think that you should go maybe as a cat witch. Like, you're your own individual. Like, if you ever seen, what is it called? Soul Eater. And there's this witch that is, I'm not telling you who it is, but it is a cat that can turn into a cat. Be like that person. Have like a cat tail or cat paws, cat ears, and a witch costume. Maybe if you want to be a spooky one, maybe add some fake blood or some scars, like you're gonna be like a back from the dead. I mean, honestly, be creative with your costume. As much as possible, and as when you want to, as you want to be needed. Anyways, guys, now I will let you go back to your video. Bye bye. Hello, my beautiful lovies of the world. It's me, Queen Nightmare, and I'm going to. I hope my other video before this did not creep you out. I am a weird person. I am so sorry about that. Okay, let me go on. Let me start this. Childish games and those who play them. Drarry. Third person POV. It was a late night for all the returning 8th years. It was the first time being back since the war, and everyone decided to turn over a new leaf. Inter-house friendships were encouraged. What really, I can't read, sorry. What really surprised people were that Gryffindor and Slytherins were friends. Harry Potter and Draco, to be exact. After the trials, after the Malfoy trial, Harry offered his hand, and Draco gratefully took it. All right, everyone, in a circle, Ron called to everyone. Let's play Spin the Bottle. Don't you think we're above that, Weasley? Draco drawled. Oh, scare Malfoy? Ginny giggled. She was sitting on Neville's lap as the two were a couple. Me scared? Draco scoffed. Fine, let's play. He got up from his couch and sat next to Longbottom Kid. Ginny got off his lap and sat next to him. Soon Blaise, Dean, Seamus, Harry, Luna, Hermione, and Ron joined the circle. I want to stop, Blaze called it, as the bottle was handed to him. I have a bad nose today. I don't know what it is. Okay, I got it. He spun it, and it went around a few times before landing on Harry. Harry shrugged and leaned in as did Blaze. Their lips met for less than a second before pulling away. Harry was blushing profusely and spun the bottle. It landed on Ginny, who giggled. That's not like we haven't done it before. She leaned in and pecked Harry's mouth before pulling away. She spun, having it land on Ron. Ha! Draco laughed. Oh, Merlin, that's great, he piped, laughing, and Ginny glared. I'm spinning again. She spat. Please do. Ron's face was redder than his hair. She spun it, and it landed on Draco. He scowled but kissed her. She blushed as he smirked and spun the bottle. It went around a few times before landing on Harry. Everyone slowed. Everyone, including the boys. Everyone, including the boys, knew there was this tension between the two. It happened slowly. They crawled to each other and their lips met each other. Unlike everyone else's, this one lasted more than a second. Ginny squealed and Damus smiled at one another. That's their ship name, I'm guessing. The pair pulled away and Harry blushed. I think I'm gonna call it a night, he smirked, and it was Draco's turn to blush. I think I will too. Care to escort me upstairs? He asked Harry, who nodded. It will be my pleasure. He grabbed Draco's hand and they rushed up that stairs. And that night it wasn't only Harry's pleasure, but Draco's as well. Nice. Okay, this is Scorpius. Let's get rid of. Go away. I'm gonna die. There we go. Found it finally. Scorpius. Drarry, found it. Sorry, I had to take a picture. Okay, let's go on. The dumb string and the Hogwarts champion. Oh gosh. The photo above is the prompt I took. I don't know who came up with it, but idea creds go to them. Harry's POV. Dumbledore announced that we were hosting a special tournament this year. He also mentioned that two other magical schools were coming to join us. And when they did, that's when I saw him. He had blonde hair and gray eyes. He was looking around, smirking and joking around with the other dumbstrings. That's Draco Malfoy. Was supposed to come here, but his father doesn't like Dumbledore. Ron whispered in my ear. His father is a follower of you-know-who, he told me, and I locked eyes with the boy. His smirk widened, but when he saw me, then he winked, causing me to blush and look away. After a month later, my worst fear for this year came true. Someone had entered me into the tournament, and I was meant to compete. I was annoyed and upset because my so-called best friend turned his back on me. I felt worse than ever before. However, I would have noticed that the blonde cutie, Draco Malfoy, would be staring at me. I felt his eyes on me in the library, the halls, and once in the Great Hall. That time I smiled at him and ended up spilling my pumpkin juice over my front. That caught a laugh from him. During the first task, I noticed that Draco Malfoy was cheering for me instead of his school. He got multiple sneers and jeers, but when he saw that I noticed, he smiled. Smiled at me! So, you got a date yet? Ron asked me, and I looked over at him. He was talking to me again. Apparently, it wasn't because I was in the tournament at all. He saw the way I looked at Draco and the way Crumb looked at Hermione. He was jealous. We were finding someone, and from Dumbstring, no doubt. He came around, though, which I was happy about. For the ball, I asked. He rolled his eyes. They announced this big ball known as the Yule Ball. It was set to be on Christmas Eve, so most of the school plus other schools were staying to attend. No, what about you? I asked, and he shook his head. How about we return to the common room tonight? We both have dates, yeah? Yeah, sure, why not? I'm going to go to the library with Miney. I'll be back, I told him and walked to the library. She was sitting by herself so I walked over and plopped on the seat next to her. Hi, I smiled, but do you have a date for the ball yet? I asked her and she rolled her eyes. Why? Choosing me as a last resort? She asked and I feigned hurt. Hermione, I would never do such a thing. I told her and she rolled her eyes. Yes, I have a date. What? Who? It's a surprise, she smirked. I heard laughter behind me so I looked, and Crumb was sitting with Malfoy. They were whispering quietly, and the blonde turned to me. He smirked at me, so I turned away with a blush. Looks like you've got a crush, Hermione pointed out. I scowled at her. Someone cleared their throat next to me, so I looked up. The smirking blondie stood there. So I tensed. Harry Potter? He addressed, so I nodded. Would you do me the pleasure of being my date for the dance? He asked, and I blinked at him. Harry, answer him! She scolded, and I opened my mouth to say something, but no words came out. He barked out a laugh. Great! I'll pick you up at 6:30, he told me, so I nodded. He sauntered off, and I looked at Hermione, who giggled. Looks like you've got a date for the dance. It was over. I won, but at what cost? Cedric is gone. Voldemort's back. I felt a tap on my shoulder as I looked at it. At it. As I looked, it was Draco. His father was there that night, and he seemed like such a charming guy. We had so much fun at the ball, and so happy to have fun as my date. Well, this is Potter, he smirked. I, he's, I guess so. It was really nice meeting you, I told him honestly. Thank, thank you for everything. It was a pleasure, he told me. I leaned in and kissed the shoulder of the square of his lips. I froze, but then melted into the kiss. We kissed for a bit, and when we pulled away, he smiled. Write to me, yeah? Yeah, I agreed, and he disappeared towards the boats. I stared at where I stared at where I stayed where I stood. I was one hell. It was one hell of a year. Oh boy. Okay, sorry. Uh, a pop up came up. Ooh, after war and dances. Drarry. You know what? I have to pause this for a second. I need to go. Hi guys, I'm sorry about that. The wait. Um, I was. Oh, there we go. I got it in on my face now. I am going to do. I'm going to do a the after war and dances. Drarry. Part 2 of the drum string and Hogwarts champion. Third person POV. Harry Potter won. He won the war, and every Death Eater, give or take, was taken away. In celebration of winning the war, there was a dance held in Harry Potter's honor. But Harry didn't want to take just anyone to the dance. He wanted to take his one-time lover, Draco Malfoy, from his fourth year. The pair had remained in touch the course of the years, but never actually met up again. Harry was sat sulking at the dance. Everyone was dancing and having a good time. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on a second. Oh, excusez-moi. Okay. Anyways, Harry was sat sulking at the dance. Everyone was dancing and having a good time. He just couldn't find it in him to have a good time. He wanted to take the cute blonde from before, not anyone else. Care to dance? He heard as his head snapped up. He recognized the blonde right away, but he had grown into a very hot young adult. You came, Harry said dumbly, and Draco laughed. Of course I did. I wouldn't miss another chance to see Harry Potter, he told the raven-haired fellow. Harry stood up and grabbed Draco's outstretched hand. I've been thinking about you a lot, Harry told the blonde, and then blushed at his admission. I've missed you a lot, he admitted, and Draco grinned. They started dancing slow. I've missed you a lot. You were my first kiss, you know, and you wouldn't have it. I wouldn't have it any other way, he told the smaller boy. Harry smiled and kissed the blonde, who re separate re reciprocated by kissing him back. When they pulled away, Harry smiled. You were my first too, and none of the kisses after that even compared, Harry told the blonde, who couldn't resist and kissed Harry again. He put his forehead against Harry's. Will you go out with me? Draco whispered into Harry's ear. Harry smiled. He smiled and kissed Draco again. I'd love to. Okay. The apple orchard and the pumpkin patch. Drarry. Non-magic universe. Harry's POV. At the first time, my boyfriend and I were gonna go apple picking together. He was not the type to do such a common folk thing, but he agreed to it nonetheless. I got dressed in comfortable casual wear, and when I picked him up, he was not dressed in the same clothes as me. It was in all black, nice looking clothes and shoes that looked too expensive to get dirty. Dee, what are you wearing? I asked as I looked at him once over. I am wearing my casual clothes. His lips twisted in disgust at my casual wear. Baby, you need more appropriate for clothes for today. I got extra clothes in the car. Care to change? I asked, and he grimaced. Fine. He rolled his eyes, and I smiled. I kissed him before going to my car and getting the clothes. When I came back and handed them to him, he rolled his eyes in disgust before disappearing further into his house, allowing me to look around. I had been in his house a few times, but it was just so beautiful and elegant that I couldn't help to admire it every time I was in there. He came down moments later and sneered at me. I couldn't help but smile because he was in gray sweatpants with with a black hoodie that contrasted with his pasty skin. You look lovely, I told him, and he scoffed. I look like a common person, he told me, and I giggled. Oh, shush. Can we go now? I asked him, and he nodded. I outstretched my hand, and he grabbed it. We walked to my car and got in. As we drove to the place, we talked and laughed about a lot. He may think he was a prince, but he was actually such a Prince Charming. He was actually such a Prince Charming. I was lucky to have him. We pulled to the apple orchard and found a spot. There, there we all there were all different kinds of apples. I parked, handed him a bag, and we held hands. He was a little spectacled, so I grabbed the first few apples that looked the best and put them in the bag. He followed my lead. We got some good looking apples. We got the whole bag filled in less than an hour. This is it? He asked me. Yes, I laughed. But we also have to need to pick pumpkins. Pumpkins? He inquired. Like a child? Oh, come on, mouthful. Come on, Draco, I quoted, and he groaned. Don't make that face. You know I can't resist it. He pulled me towards him and kissed my lips. All right, Potter, let's go, he told me, and I grinned. We got into the car and with our apples and drove down to pay for them. We then drove to the pumpkin patch. We got out of the car, leaving the apples there, and then took a hayride to the actual patch. Draco did not like it at all and decided to sit on my lap as he didn't have so he wouldn't have to sit on the dead straw. We got out of the hay ride and we walked to where a lot of pumpkins were. Are we each getting one? It's up to you. Do you want one? I asked, and he shrugged. Yeah, sure. He smiled. We parted and a bit before getting back together. We had medium-sized pumpkins as he settled on a smaller one because he claimed the larger ones were harder to carry. We started walking towards the hayride, but he stopped me. I had been in front of him, holding his hand, when he tugged on me. Hey, wait! There's something in my pumpkin, he told me, and I looked at him oddly, and he opened the top slightly and pulled out a small box. My stomach dropped, then he smiled, getting on one knee. Draco, I squeaked. Harry, will you marry me? He asked, and revealing the black rimmed ring, and I gasped. Yes! Oh my goodness, yes! I told him, and he grinned. He slipped the ring on my finger before standing up and kissing my lips. How did you even get the ring in there? A pocket knife. Thankfully, the pumpkin guts didn't get on it. He told me, and I laughed. It just, I just hugged him, and because he knew that this day meant the world to me, and he made it 100 times better. Wow, that is actually really, really beautiful. That actually made my day. Is that weird to think that? Wait, what? Okay. Anyways, love potion. Oh, wait. And the next one will be love potion, the week of obsession. Well, that's for next time. Okay, guys, I have to end it here. I love you so much. Please be happy, be healthy, and always be loving. Let me know what you want to hear next. Comment down below. What do you want me to do for Halloween? Or comment down below your questions that you want to ask us. Or should we do a live stream? Up to you guys. Well, guys, I love you so much. Bye bye.